All right.
The question is, the other day when we had the victim come up, I just hit mute,
Yep.
identified her.
And then,
But if I do that for Littleton, if I hit, I don't think that mutes the mic. I just, does it?
so today on Zoom, I have to mute her on Zoom. No, that wouldn't work. Yeah, I think you would just mute that and it mutes our whole courtroom.
All right, let's find out. Can you pull our live stream up on your computer?
Yeah, yeah.
Without, like you weren't connected to what's going on in here. You know what I mean?
Oh, so.
No, how are we gonna do that? We got to get somebody downstairs to listen live stream so that when we have somebody zoom in, we know if we can mute them or not. Do we have any Zoom scheduled today?
But let me find out who's doing,
Because I don't think if I mute this, it's gonna mute the person coming up from Zoom. We just need somebody to join us.
hey, do you have a minute to be my crash test done? Do you have are you on, arrangements today? You are on Zoom already. All right, thanks. Yeah, no, you flunked, but it's okay. All right, goodbye. Let me find somebody that you can keep it.
I put one of the guys in the Zoom right.
Hey, do you have Zoom up? Are you able to jump into our? You don't have your computer. Okay, thank you. No, this. All right, bye. Nobody has an extra one. So have one of the guys jump in.
Oh, yeah, let me.
Or let's see if we have a computer up here.
Hey, how many guys down there right now?
4 with them.
Have somebody go get in the Zoom room
Okay.
and join my Zoom meeting so we can try an experiment.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Dr. Reed sent me a text this morning and said that he wants to up the game because they've got this epidemic of absences. He's gonna get 200 kids and we've got 50 kids with over 20 absences already. He says, so can we start giving them fines and costs or something? And I wish he would have called me because I said, this was like 7 o'clock. I said, let's talk, because he said he's having a meeting with all the liaisons, the attendance liaisons. I said, let's talk. And I wanted to talk to him before I had the meeting with them, because I don't think money's gonna do it.
No, because I'm not gonna know that that's what it is. Because I know, Stacy reached out the other day and she said that some, still having, problems. So, security test.
Yeah. But that's them coming in, I think. All right, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Just start saying your ABCs.
A, B, C, oh, I feel like I'm drunk. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Not working?
I think.
Hold on just a minute.
Which that's what we need.
Oh, yeah. We need somebody on live stream.
If one of your users are out there that can.
Oh, good idea.
You want me to try it from the phone?
Oh, no, you're.
No, just stay right there.
Why am I? That's your baby. Why am I not getting a live feed?
Yeah, they're talking about muting.
Oh, are they? Okay. I'm not seeing that. Oh, just tell us. We can help you test. Just tell us when you want to hear. Go ahead and try it. We'll tell you.
Okay. All right, Mike, go ahead and start running through your ABCs again, unless you want to sing a song, either one.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, JK LMNOP QRST UV WXYZ.
All right, just hold up for a minute. We're testing. I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out if I hit my mute button, it will mute somebody that's calling in, because I'm afraid with the Polycom, it's not doing everything.
Now,
No, we need to know if it. Oh, they heard him. How long did you mute him for?
Like the middle of the alphabet. Sillius, did you hear the entire alphabet from the officer? YouTube, did you hear the entire alphabet or just parts of it?
The whole thing.
Yeah, that's funny. You're getting responses before I see them. Okay, that didn't work, Mike. We got to figure out something else.
okie doke.
No, not entirely. Do it again.
Okay, we got to do another test.
Okay.
So-
All right. All right, I'm gonna stop at H and I'll pick up again at O. Ready, Mike? You just
Yep.
keep talking. You just do your ABCs.
Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Okay, stay with me. We're waiting for responses from our listening audience.
Okay.
We've got that exam coming at 4 o'clock today, and unless I get some pushback from the prosecutor, I want to live stream it. I just want to mute the portion of the ID for the victim.
Heard it all.
Yeah, they're hearing the whole thing. We got to figure something else out.
Yeah, because I can't.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Well, then I wonder if we, once we bring her in.
Got a question for you.
Then bring up the live stream.
So I've got, yeah, I'm thinking we might have to just pause the live stream, just pause it entirely for that. So thanks, Mike.
Yep, I'm trying to leave here.
Question is this. We've got an exam this afternoon that I want to live stream, but I don't want the victim's identification to go out on live stream. We just tried an experiment. If I use the mute button here, I mute what goes out of the courtroom, but I'm not muting what's coming in from the Zoom participant. So I think the only way we can do that is either we mute her, which means she doesn't go on the record then, which we can't have, or I think we just have to pause live stream, get the identification on the record, and then start the live stream again. Okay. Yeah, we did it Tuesday and I just hit the mute button and it was fine. Yeah. Right. On the identification. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll have to talk to Elizabeth about that. She might have some pushback about any live stream, and then I'm not gonna put that girl through anything more than
Right.
that's to, so. Good morning, Council. Are you ready? Carter? William?
Yes, Rebecca.
Council, your appearance, please.
The name is Court Francis Finnegan of Heron Avenue. He's returning his my lives.
Thank you. All right, here for sentencing, correct? All right, have you two had a chance to go over the report and recommendation, Council?
Yes.
No corrections? All right, anything to add by way of allocution?
I hear that, I'm truly really important about it, but he's really taking this serious.
Mhm.
AA, what, 2 times a week?
Good,
Right, toward a lot for.
good. How long you been in?
Since April.
Okay, how's it going? So fairly fresh. Yeah, okay. So what I noticed with a lot of my participants is the first couple months are tough because they're trying to figure out how to juggle everything and time management and everything else. Are you struggling a little bit?
It's part of the team now. So at the beginning, it was
Good.
trying to plan everything.
Yep. Yep.
But
Good.
it's just not too challenging.
Good. I'm glad you're in. I'm glad you're in the program. All right, anything else?
But he has a really good job that he's been working in,
That's for
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I'm working there, doing good. My manager wants to promote me next year.
Oh, that's a new job too. Yeah, good, good. All right. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing here, I just said we thank, would appreciate if you please accept the recommendation.
I'm going to. Good, good. So I want to give you something to think about. And I'm adopting in full the recommendation. We'll make that official in a minute. I saw, were you familiar with the adverse childhood experiences before you took the assessment for us? Okay. So you came in at a 6, which is a fairly high number. I want to encourage you to do some research because I'm going to guess, I think you and I could have a really interesting conversation if we sat down over a cup of hot beverage and talked about your childhood. And I'm going to bet that over the last 30 years, you've had this thought through your head a number of times, like, what the hell was I thinking? Why am I doing that?
Right.
Okay. I want you to get into this. I want you to play around on the internet and do a little research on adverse childhood events. When I first got turned on to that concept at some kind of judicial seminar, I went to something about trauma. You're an ear prison counsel, just bear with me. And they kind of whet my interest by giving me some of the high points of the whole thing. And then I started doing some research. And I found the premier study that started the whole thing. And it was, I don't remember now, but it seems to me it was, but ancient history. It was like back in the late 70s, early 80s or something like that. But adverse childhood events are basically anything that could be traumatic. And your trauma is not my trauma. So for example, you at 12 years old, you might have been in a car accident with your family. I could have been in the exact same car accident with my family at 12 years old. It might have been traumatic for you and not traumatic for me. Okay. So that's where it gets really interesting to me. But all these different childhood traumatic events add up. And and I'm trying to make this short for you, but I really, really encourage you to get into it and look into it because I think it's going to answer a lot of questions you've had about your life. So for example, you're an engineer, so I have an idea how your brain works because I got buddies that are engineers. They don't think like I do, right? I mean, you guys don't process like other people process. All right. But your brain, our brains are developed or are designed to develop a certain way. And, our norm, right? And then something happens, flight or flight, right? And we peak and then things get back to normal. And then something else happens and then we get back to normal. Well, kids that have enough trauma in their lives, they do this. And then they come down once in a while and then they go back up and they spend a lot of time up here. Okay. And as a result, your brain literally develops differently than it's designed to develop. Your thought processes don't develop normally. Okay. So for me, what I took out of that whole thing is, and this is the biggest part for me, and it did change the way I operate on the bench when I'm conscious, when I'm on my game 100%. Because instead of thinking when I'm dealing with somebody where you're at, instead of thinking, what the hell's going on with this guy? What happened to this guy? That's a big game changer. Would you agree with me? What happened to this guy? What happened to change the way he deals with the world around him differently than he was designed to deal with the world around him? And the reason, and I always give some version of this lecture when I see somebody with a high number, because I think if we don't know what makes us tick, we got very little chance of dealing with it properly. And I'm thinking that your adverse childhood events are a big part of what make you tick, and you might not even know it.
I agree.
Okay. So do some research on it. And one of the things that blew my mind is not just how it changes our life, how we emotionally interact with the world, physically. People that are at a high number on the childhood ACEs, they call it ACEs score, their and I don't remember the percentages, but I'm just gonna throw numbers at you. You know, they're 50% more likely to have heart disease later in life. Okay, they're 70% more likely to abuse substances later in life. I mean, it's not just, you know, it's going to affect our relationships because we process information differently than everybody else we deal with. Maybe it's crazy, but I want you to look into it. Now, the very, very best part for me as a guy that works with kids, because I've been running a juvenile program, is you know what can change the way your brain works, can rewire your brain? Love. I think that's the coolest thing. That makes my tail wag every time I think about it, because that means that kid that's living up here, what can change that kid's pathway, literally the neural pathways in his head, is a relationship with an adult, can be a coach, can be that teacher that takes that extra interest in him, could be a new, you know, mom gets a new, you know, he gets a new stepfather. Could, all it takes is an adult that kid understands that person cares about me, and that can change the way their brain processes. And that, I mean, that's mind blowing stuff for me. It's pretty cool. All right. Not exactly what you expected to hear today, probably, but I would love to hear from you after you've done some research and ask me or tell me if it has been like V8 moment after V8 moment for you, looking back on your life through that filter.
I appreciate that.
Would you share that feedback with me? Okay. All right. Let's get to the business at hand. Okay. Yeah.
And that stuff, he talks in church, he's like a minister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff that's bigger before too.
Yeah. That family support is huge. Huge. Yeah. Okay. All right. So back to business. I'm going to adopt in full the recommendations of the probation department. That means, what do we have? Items 1 through 10 that were recommendations that you two went over. Those are now court orders. That includes the 40 hours of community service. That's just charity work. As long as the IRS is registered with it, the organization as a 501c3, you volunteer with them, get a letterhead that says you've done 40 hours, get that to your probation officer, and we're fine. All right. And you can talk to the probation officer about how much time you've got to get that done. Fines that cost $1,500. Can you pay it today, or do you need to talk options? Do that downstairs. Any questions? Good luck in Waterford. You keep them happy, you keep us happy. All right. Have a great day. Council, always a pleasure. Have a nice day, ma'am. Honestly, I've got that one. That's a sentencing. We don't need her.
Okay.
Who's the guy I just did? I did cross him off. Carter?
Thank you. You can bring him.
I can't find him. Oh, there he is. Council, your appearance for Oakley.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marshall Goldberg and Mr. Oakley.
Good morning.
That's it.
Have you fellows had a chance to look at the report and recommendation?
Your Honor, I emailed it to my client, he looked it over again each day, and we talked about it.
Good. Right. Anything to correct?
Not to correct.
All right. Anything to add?
Uh,
Go ahead.
I guess it's more elocution.
I'm ready to hear it.
When we resolved this matter, I asked the prosecutor what his thoughts were at 7411, and he said it's certainly up to you and the judge and whatever probation determines. So ultimately, I'm asking you for it to impose a sentence that would be under 7411. I talked to my client about employment, we can get interned away, and we're surmising this may have something to do with it.
This shouldn't even be on a record anywhere.
Well, it's still listed as.
Well, that's going to be, it'll be pending until he gets to the end of his deferment then.
7411, at least it may not appear.
Mm-hmm.
This bill.
Mm-hmm. Where you been applying? Okay. When's the last time you had a job? Where were you working then? How long? What's the status of your driving record? Your privileges? You're driving? Okay. Where'd you go to high school? What was your GPA? Have you done any school since then? What are your long-term plans?
Take a trade.
What are you thinking? Like carpenter, plumber, what are you thinking? Okay, where at? You got something picked out? Okay, what are you waiting for?
I just gotta get the most applications. Most applications.
I know what the process is. My question is, what are you waiting for?
Sorry.
Well, you're waiting because you haven't done it yet. What are you waiting for? How long have you decided that you want to do that?
Well, year.
Okay. I'm not excited. All right, go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, right, he's not working, any way we can minimize financing costs, I appreciate it. There was a civil infraction that went along with this because of the grace of the grandmother that was taken care of.
Mhm.
Certainly was not at this point standing on its feet independent, which ultimately this court, I think, I'm sure knows, is his goal. Based
Yep.
on requirements. But there's no aggravating circumstances about this, no prior record. With candidate, the something to go not appear on his record.
You got his file, Mr. Trolley? No CCH?
But according to my ideas, I have an association.
Okay. No prior convictions for misdemeanors or felonies? I'm not inclined to give him a 7411. He already got the big break when they took it from a felony down to a misdemeanor. What are your thoughts, Mr. Trolley?
Your Honor, my thoughts are, it gives him the opportunity to prove to you, you can fully comply. You can set certain goals.
I can do all that without giving him that extra gift.
I understand, but it's the same.
I'll tell you what, you get something on a plea agreement from the prosecutor that he offers it, and then I'll consider it.
They're not in here today. I didn't see it.
No, they're not. They're here on Tuesdays. Tuesday, state.
Oh, we have some.
I'll tell you what. I'll adjourn sentencing. He can do something other than talk about doing a trade school between now and sentencing. That will make my tail wag. And as long as the prosecutor has no objections, then I'll consider a delayed sentence. How's that? All right. How much time you want? Keep in mind, you got to make my tail wag before I see you, or I'm not going to give you the 7411.
Yeah.
No, 2 weeks? No, brother.
That filled in a week. No, their companies don't move. that.
You're going to make my tail wag. That means you're going to come back here with a job, or you're going to come back and you're going to be enrolled somewhere so you can get a job.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you need a scholarship of some sort or a loan of some sort to begin your trade school? No.
Okay. The other thing that'll make my tail wag is if you had a job. Okay. Matter of fact, I can do better than that. Hold on. You got a driver's license. You can drive, right? Legally. You got a car. You got one you can borrow. Could you get to Monroe every day for a job? Okay. All right. I got a buddy that's always hiring.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, I've had his cards on my desk for 15 years. Yeah. I'll tell you what, when's your next sentencing date? June 25th. We'll have you come back. Go ahead, look at your account. So as long as your attorney's available on June 25th, you come back that day and you've got a job, and I mean a real job. I don't mean like 20 hours a week in McDonald's. Look, I want you to understand something the way I think. You're 22 years old. Are you as healthy as you look? I mean, you don't have any health problems that keep you from working hard, right? Okay. So in my world, you should be working 60 or 70-hour weeks. Because when you work that hard in your 20s, when you're an old man like me, you don't have to work that hard. All right. So when I see a kid that's 22 years old and he hasn't worked for months, it's offensive to me. because I know lots of people that are looking for help. All right. So you come back, you've got a real job, like a full-time plus job, or you're in trade school, even better, if you're in trade school and have a job, then I will consider his request to put you on a 7411. Deal? Okay. Are you available that day? What time you want to do it?
9. Sorry. Just put up 9.
And give me the date again. June what? 25? 9 a.m. Here's my note to myself because I have a terrible memory. Tail wagging job or school. Got a plan, gentlemen? We have a plan?
Yes.
All right. All right, council. See you then. Thank you, gentlemen. Enjoy your day. What do you got, council?
Oh, good morning.
What do you got?
This one, yeah. Hello. And you was your. David up again.
MLN shelter.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Got them all said. MON, right? It's not hyphenated with something?
No.
Council, I'm looking for the file. There we go. All right. Come on up with Miss Monet. Your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Lee appearing on this behalf of Ms. Monette, who for the record is present and standing here from my right.
Good morning. Is it Monette or Monet? You do use your T's. Okay. I said you use your T's.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, counsel.
Honor, we have reviewed the pre-sentence report. It is accurate, no changes. The one thing that, well, there is one thing, she is not in school, it indicates still, you know, that.
Okay.
She's a full-time homemaker, raising the children, their 2 young children. Feels really bad about this. He badly wants to keep this marriage intact.
Mhm.
We hope that
Mhm.
the probation period.
Okay.
Other than that, I have very little to say. I do want to ask you to adopt the recommendations. However, I'd like you to consider that she does suffer from several psychiatric conditions that necessitate medication.
Okay.
I think she could probably, as far as diagnosis, I think that she could probably provide that real quickly. And I just wanted you to consider that in support. It's nothing that stops her from being here.
Right.
But at times she
She struggles.
struggled with.
Yeah.
I think it's important to tell you that.
Okay.
I stand ready. That's right. Well,
Okay. You're welcome very much.
one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. She does tell me that, and I indicated there is therapy going on, treatment with psychotropic drugs, and she is looking for a job.
Good, good. Good luck. Okay. Anything you want to add to what council's told me? Don't feel that you have to. I'm just giving you a chance.
Just that if you have someone in the role that's looking for a job to hire people all the time, I really.
You might not want the job because it's a water and sewer company. And unless you want to play in the mud every day, you probably don't want the job.
By the way, see the judge sit down off her.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Did they take you out on it often?
I have a lot of them take the card. Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah. Over the years, I've had people show up there and actually work. So
That's even more so.
that's even better. Yeah.
That's if we go on.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll adopt the recommendations of the probation department. I understand this was a delayed sentence under 7694A, right?
It is gone.
Yeah, for 12 months. All right. Court costs are assessed in the amount of $700. Ma'am, can you pay that today or do you need some options? All right, any questions?
No, you're.
Okay, good luck, man.
Thanks. See you this morning.
Same here. Mr. Graziani, you got something ready?
Yes, I do, sir.
Give me a name.
Scott Davis.
Davis?
Yes, it's a probation violation, sir.
Looking for the file. All right, found the file. Good morning. Your appearance.
Graziani, on the 4-3-27, good morning, Chuck and staff. We're here for the probation violation for Mr. Davis. We plead guilty to him not completing the community service. However, he will be going to the substance abuse treatment program. In fact, he's going there on Monday to get involved at Western Wayne Center for an income-based program.
Good.
He is on a limited income. He is working, I believe, for the operating engineers. They're starting off as a subcontractor. But he's starting off as a subcontractor, and soon he'll be in a position where he can do the community service on the weekends. I did indicate that to Mr. Oakley. And we're asking for continuation of probation because I do believe he's on the right path.
Okay,
It's being off on time.
okay. All right, so you didn't do a psych eval?
I did not go and I have this scheduled for Monday.
Right, all right, all right, so two things were ordered. Substance abuse, treatment, and a psychological evaluation. Which one do you have starting Monday?
I believe it's both. Am I correct?
Yeah.
It's-
Okay,
For the whole thing, I-
Okay.
To the other therapy issues with them.
Okay. all right. Have you gone to any AA meetings?
No,
Okay,
I have not done that, but I have got,
so other than pay, what have you done?
got, a little over 10 of my community service hours done since we came in. And I am set up for going to the, I was hoping that when I go to the Western Wing, they have,
I misspoke. You do not have to do a or a psych eval. Substance abuse treatment and work program community service. Okay,
Doug, he's gonna be very aggressive about it now that he has transportation. He
Okay.
got the board fusion several months ago.
okay.
They were having him also work on the weekends, and that was,
Who do you work for now?
I'm working for, I'm subcontracting for Treehouse, construction. I'm subcontracting with Team Z right now.
Okay.
I'm doing I'm an operator for the equipment license I can get.
Yep. How long have you been working that job?
I'm coming up on a month.
Okay, so where would you work? Where did you work before that?
I worked at the gym, I worked at Planet Fitness.
Okay. How long were you there?
9 months.
All right, full time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was, I was transporting myself on my bike to get down.
Okay,
can't make a living at that shop.
yep. So what stopped you from doing the community service hours?
Time limitations going around on the bicycle and my, I was working from 1 or 2 to 10 o'clock at night
Right,
and, going in there for the morning bit.
that's a weird shift. Yeah.
Opens up at 10.
Yeah.
Judge, in fact, there were conflicts, as you indicated to me on the weekend, and now there's not gonna be any more excuses. That
Right, and I am presently, I did my 10 hours of the community service. I've got, just over 10.
Where'd you do it at?
It was, Goodwill and, Wicked.
Okay,
So I've been going.
all right, so you still owe me 40 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
You do have 40 hours.
40.
Okay.
Even though it's stated 6 hours, Judge, there's evidence that he did the additional hours, but there is an additional 40 hours.
Okay, all right. Ms. Troll, are you satisfied with giving him another review date? See if we can get him on track?
Yes.
The June 25?
Yes. 8:50.
All right, let's review this at June 25. All right, so that gives you, oh, in essence, it gives you a month and 2 weeks. So how many hours can you get done in that time?
I was actually planning on doing today. I took the whole day off of work, so.
So bank some out today?
Yeah.
All right.
This weekend, I have my grader training. The,
Right?
You know, company that does the lift is gonna be in, back.
Okay. Well, let's do this.
Doing Sundays.
I'm going to determine on June 25th whether or not I'm just going to move you forward with probation or there's going to be some kind of a consequence because you're what? 6 months into probation and you haven't done much. Okay. So understanding that's the decision I make on June 25th, it might behoove you to get a lot of hours done between now and then. I'm not saying miss your training this week because that's good job training. So I'm not saying miss your training to go to Goodwill, but I'm saying you want to get some hours done. All right. Okay. So we'll see you June 25th, 8:30. And, but I like that too, because by then you should have something to talk about from this treatment, some documentation, make sure you let them know that they can share information with Mr. Rowley. So she can check with them. Is he showing up? Is he engaged? How's treatment going? All right. All right. We'll see you then. Good luck this weekend.
Mr. Hart, Judge.
Hart H.
AJR, yeah, correct. Yes.
All right. I've got Mr. Hart's file, Mr. Bowditch.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch, appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Clark, in place of the attorney of record, Mr. Granado.
That's okay with you?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
Your Honor, we have met with Clark, we have a precinct investigation, find the facts we have, or the additions. No corrections, no additions. There would be one thing I would respond to. No, that's on.
Okay.
So we're asking you to adopt the recommendations of probation.
Okay. Mr. Hart, don't feel that you have to, but I'm giving you a chance. Anything you want to add?
Recently have stopped all drugs, just smoke marijuana, so just want to do it.
Okay. Do you consider marijuana to be a mood altering substance? You don't?
What you mean, like, say that again?
Do you consider marijuana to be a mood altering substance?
Like my anger or something?
Does it alter your mood? No? You are ordered not to do any mood altering substances. And 99% of the time when I say that means no alcohol, no marijuana. Okay. But you're smoking dope and you've been doing it since I court ordered you not to. That's not a good way to start probation. So you're not smoking marijuana unless you want to violate probation. Understood? Anything else?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll adopt in full the recommendations. 12-month probation, $480 oversight fee, total fines that cost $1,300. Can you pay that today or do you need to talk about options? Do that downstairs. The items 1 through 10, the recommendations I adopted include 8 days on the court work program. Those work days are scheduled as an alternative to jail. That means if we're having trouble getting you to finish the 8 days on the work program, then I'm just going to have you do the jail time. Understood? Any questions?
What's the work?
You pick the days, you sign up. Those days you show up here at 8 o'clock in the morning, you go out with our crew. We're getting to the point now, we're going to start cleaning up some parks in the communities. We might be working some street festivals, picking up garbage. Might be cleaning up a park with some weed whacking, that kind of stuff. Understood? Questions? You're all set.
I'll let you tell, I'll let you give you the last name later. What is it, sir?
Sir, what's your name?
Ethan, go on. Go
Radio on.
Yeah, go ahead while I look for the file.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeff Bowditch, appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Goliath. Your Honor, today is the date time set for sentencing in this matter. There is no.
Why did I schedule sentencing today? I didn't say, I know, and I didn't sentence him the day of a plea for a reason. What did I tell you? I probably told you to get something done.
You said get a job, get my license, have my dogs under control.
Did you get your dogs under control?
Yeah.
What did you do?
We put a gate up on our court so they can't get down.
Good. So they can't escape, right? Cannot escape, right? You got them licensed?
No, I don't have my license. No.
Why?
My brother told me it would be better to wait until after I turn 21, so that I don't have to immediately renew my license as soon as I get it.
Okay, so you're gonna take your legal advice from your brother instead of the judge that was gonna sentence you when next time I saw you. Is that what I just heard?
So,
Is that what I just heard?
I want to get my license, but my brother said it would make more sense to do it after I turn 21.
So you took your advice from your brother. So you took your advice from your brother.
Yes,
Yeah. So how about a job? Did you get a job?
yes. Didn't get a job, but I have not started at that job yet.
Okay. So since March, you haven't been able to find a job to start.
No, but I got one recently. I just have not started at it.
Okay. Where are you going to start and when?
I have not figured that out. I'm waiting on a call from the manager right
Manager of what?
now. The Dollar General down in Carl.
Okay. How long have you been waiting for the call from Dollar General?
About 2 days.
Okay. What makes you think they're going to call you?
Well, whenever I got done with the interview, he said he'll call me and tell me when I start. And he said he'd let me give it a try for about a week to see how things go.
Okay. Where did you go to high school?
Community high school.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
When?
2024.
Okay. So have you worked since high school? Have you worked anywhere? Okay. Who's paying your bills?
My mom and dad.
Okay. What was your GPA?
I had no idea.
Usually in my experience, that means it was lower than it could have been. Okay.
I think it was like 3.3.
Okay. All right. So my notes said that what I told you back in March was to provide proof of dog training. Did you do any dog training or did you just put up the gate?
We just put up a gate and
You say, these your parents on?
yeah,
All right, I'm sorry.
What kind of dog you got?
I have Australian Shepherd.
More than one?
3.
And they're your dogs?
One is mine, the other 2 are my parents.
Okay. All right. So like you pay for the food and the vet bills and all that kind of stuff?
When I had money from helping my brother, yeah, I will.
Okay. What's your brother do?
He works for FedEx, but whenever I go with him, we do DoorDash and
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
shut that phone.
You got a driver's license? Are you getting one of those? When?
Like I said, after I turn 21, I'm going to go for it.
Oh, all right. I was talking about your dog license. Yeah, didn't I tell you to get a dog license? Is your dog licensed?
Oh my.
Then your dog's not licensed. Huron Township gives licenses to the dogs that are in their community so they can keep track of the dogs that are in their community. You understand that concept? Okay. If you don't know what it is, I'm assuming that means your dog is not licensed.
I don't know if she gets her money.
Okay. So by your memory, what last time you and I spoke, I told you to get a job before I saw you again, right? And I told you to get a license before I saw you again. You thought driver's license, I thought dog license. What else did I tell you?
Have a job, have a license, control the dog.
Control the dog. So you did 1 of 3. Would you agree with me? You put a gate up. And it sounds like mom and dad put the gate up.
Well, yeah,
Okay. Oh, boy.
All right, I'm gonna put a delayed sentence for 12 months. That means stay out of trouble, no new criminal offenses. Instead of court costs because you don't have a job and I don't want your mom's money, I'm gonna order 3 days on the court work program. Can you get a ride here 3 days if you schedule the 3 days, if you pick the days? All right. I would suggest you get those days banged out pretty quick, so if Dollar General calls you, you can go to work there. Any questions?
No.
All right, stay out of trouble, get your 3 days done, and then we'll dismiss this at the end of 12 months. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Counsel, who do you got?
Judge, what happened is this gentleman is falling for the cracks of Mr. Andrew Lemming. He was not on my list, sir,
Okay.
and I just wanted to, I was about to ask him, I didn't know what to do.
Might be because he's not on the docket today.
No, he is. He's a show.
Oh, show cost. Okay. All right, so.
Would you want us to step with the
Yes.
podium?
Yeah, come on up. I'll tell you what he's here for, and then you can decide if you need some time to talk to him. I've got a file here from incident date of August 5/23, disorderly intoxication. He was sentenced April 2nd this year, $300 fines and costs and 4 days on the work program.
I just finished.
All right. So the paperwork I've got says he owed $200. You paid that off? So it's a work program issue. Failed to appear for work program on April 10th and Saturday, April 11th. So I didn't ask anything yet, Mr. Lemming. I'm just letting your attorney know why you're here. So do you need some time to talk?
Judge, realistically, this gentleman needs more time to do the program.
Okay.
Your, with your colleagues, and I'm asking for mercy that he be given the opportunity to complete it.
Okay. Are you working, sir? Where at?
Speak up.
Big rods, concrete and masonry,
How long you been working for Rod?
2.5 years.
Okay. Full-time plus, I assume. Yeah, what do you do?
Estimator farm
Good.
and full concrete.
Pretty good job?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So here's the problem. The 4 days work program was assessed as an alternative to jail.
Yeah.
We gave you a chance to do Saturdays because you said you needed Saturdays and you missed a Saturday. You don't get Saturday options anymore.
I've been speaking, but I just trying to explain myself. Okay.
Okay.
I was on a tether still. I
Okay.
got excited because I was getting all my stuff in order.
Right.
Told you I could do the next weekend,
Okay.
and I was still locked on my tether and forgot.
Okay.
So I came here the very next day, well, the next Monday, to make my court appointment to come here to fix the days.
Okay.
Just because now I had 3 or 4 different cities I was working with, because I just finally get my life.
Okay.
So
So you got anybody else you're dealing with? Any other courts, or we're the last court you're dealing with?
and they completely dropped my case. City of Wayne completely dropped my case, and that's just this right here, and I have one more ticket to pay in here more than completely. put-
Traffic ticket?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm not gonna punish you for missing those days, but I'm not giving you Saturdays.
Oh.
Because there's too many people that want Saturdays. So I'll let you just do the 4 days and then we're done with you. But you gotta talk to the boss and schedule some days off. And if you need to, go call him right now and find out when he can do without you. I mean, I wish I had the opportunity to say, you know what, next time it rains and you ain't working with Big Rod, then just show up here. We can't do it that way. We
Judge,
got,
let me ask you this, by when would you want this completed?
like in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'll just set it up for Monday, Tuesday, because those are our slower days. So.
Okay. All right, go schedule the 4 days, get those banged out with no issues, because I'm telling you, the next time there's an issue on work program, you're gonna do a jail take. So if you owe us 2 days on the work program, it'll be 2 days in jail. All right,
And just go to skating now, so. They have last name Martinez.
The one that's interning with Mr. Oakley?
Yes.
I'll get the file ready.
Oh,
I think it's no more Saturdays, right?
Yes, correct. Hey, can you check him? Anthony Martinez, does he still owe money for speeding? Speeding ticket?
Even without.
Still owes it. Yeah.
You're gonna start these first, Mr. Martinez.
Baker is, running.
Baker? Which one? I got more than one Baker.
Alexis, thank you. Mr. Bott, it's your appearance for Mr. Martinez.
Jeffrey Boggs, 45367, hearing on behalf of and.
Good morning.
Your Honor, today is the daytime sentencing in this matter. I have received a recent what I have reviewed with Mr. Martinez. We find it factual. We find it actually accurate. No additions, no deletions, no corrections. Section 8, we would have a comment about, but other than that, we have to be about the recommendations of probation.
Okay. All right, work days.
Your Honor, this young man works 6 days a week, and he finds that that would be difficult. And I told him the court may consider an alternative of community service, it would be more hours. But you could do it in the evenings, and give back to the community. He wishes to do that if appropriate.
You work 6 days a week where? You need a better job. What are they paying you per hour? Okay, because what I've got is you're making $80 a day. All right, so what'd you make last week?
You made 140.
140 a day? How many hours do you work every day? So would you agree with me that's like 14, 15 bucks an hour? You need a better job. Okay. What do you want to do? You're 20 years old. What do you want to be doing when you're old, 35, 40 years old?
It's like one thing that I've been struggling on what I want to do.
Okay.
I just know I want to start my own company.
Okay. Doing what?
But I have to be my license back.
When's that going to happen? Okay. You got a car? Got a truck? How are you getting to work with Magic?
I work with 4 of my friends, like my high school.
All right, so that's one of the reasons you're working that job, even though it's not a good job, because you can get there. Okay. understand, if I give you the option Mr. Bowditch is asking me to give you, there is no grace from that. Work program is an alternative to jail. Break number one. If I go from work program to community service, that's break number two. Don't expect a third one. Clear? All right, so let's do 48 hours community service. And I'm gonna help you with this. I'm not just gonna give you a deadline. I want you to do at least 10 hours a month. Well, 10 hours every 30 days, starting today. All right. That way you're not tempted to just keep putting it off and waiting for a better time to get started. You got that, Mr. Rowley?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. Now, when you go downstairs, we can give you a list of organizations that are already pre-approved. You don't have to work from our list, but it makes it easier because you know that list, we're going to say yes. All right. You get official letterhead from wherever you do your hours and turn them into Mr. Rowley. 10 hours at least every. There you go. All right. Other than that, I will accept the recommendations of probation in full. That means you and Mr. Bowditch went over 1 through 11. I'm accepting all of those and making those court orders with that one change. The days are now ours. Fines and costs, I'm gonna even give you a break on the money. Fines and costs, $1,000. Go downstairs and talk about your options. You do everything else I'm telling you to do, and I'll work with you forever on money. If you're doing everything else I'm telling you to do. So you do your hours, you stay out of trouble, you do everything else, then the money is the least of my worries. Understood? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Good luck with your business. I'm going to make a suggestion to you. When you are legally driving and you've got your business up and running, then bring some cards up here and leave them with me, and I will try to get you some business. I just had a guy I know really well. His church was trying to get rid of a copier. They got a price $300 just to get rid of the copier because it was so big, none of the old people in the church could move it. All right. I think you can make some decent money doing this. You just got to get the word out. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome. I am ready on Baker.
Ready, Ron, let's get about here and I'll be happy. And we speak. Your Honor, today is state concept six in its name. I have received the sample reviewed it. On the facts, the active, no addition, no deletion, no corrections. You would ask the court to respect and follow the recommendations of probation.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Baker. All right, Ms. Baker, anything you want to add? Don't feel that you have to. I'm just giving you the opportunity. Anything you want to add? You don't have to. I'm just giving you the opportunity to share anything you want to share.
And it's one of my meetings that I asked, and, owner of the bar, kind of being registered here, but they say, we need to get a notice of, in adjudication. That may end today, with the scenes. So,
I believe that's correct. When we dispo it, that's the notice of adjudication.
Painful.
Pay in full. All right. Got that?
Oh.
Paid in full. When the files are paid off, then that's when they get the notice of adjudication.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Okay. All right. So I got 2 files. On the drinking and driving file, I'm adopting in full the recommendations that you went over with Mr. Bowditch, items 1 through 11. That includes the 20 hours community service. Did you hear me explain community service to the guy in front of you?
yeah.
All right. So 20 hours. On that file, the fines and costs are $1,300. On the fail to stop file, same 6 months probation terms. Fines and costs on that one, $300. So the total you owe the court is $1,600. I'll send you downstairs to talk about options. They'll tell you what your options are in payment. Any questions? Good luck. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I was struggling with that. Finally, I'm like, okay, this is, because that's how I got his grades were. And I almost, no, he said he didn't.
It's like, you think too.
Next question I was gonna ask you, did you have any? I had to tell Jeff, he's gonna clean up with the code. So he uses that word in submission comments, and I know, okay, this kid's not helping about all the marks. Because sometimes it's like, it's just one of those kids that don't give a shit, or just a kid that doesn't have shit to give. Well, no, that. Yeah, it does take about. Some sort of product.
Yeah. That's 12 hours. Is that 2.5 hours? Can we do that? We do 20 hours. She's done.
Or it's just technically fun.
Because it's days, our choices are days.
When I started it.
Days.
No, I'm actually, how am I just hearing this?
Isn't it normally is with 48, is that 6 days?
What's 20?
I would just do 3.
I never picked that. I always just looking at my for that.
Yeah.
But I think you know what I'm typing.
Try to do it in 8 hour increments from now.
I would just put.
Just to make it easier.
Let's see if it takes, let me see if it takes 2.5. Because that's what it is.
Sure.
No. It's possible.
I think that was my, I wondered why that doesn't have like hours there,
Yeah.
it's days,
What
that's always.
What did you do fractional days?
And then they told me community services for 6 hours, but they wouldn't provide 8, so I'm like. I know, I'm starting over here, I'm like, I'm confused, yeah.
Well, I used to figure 6 hours if I was converting the work days to community service, because it's usually like a 6 hour work day, right? So.
Last statement.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Let's see.
Madison? Right? We're here for sentencing counsel? Your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor, report that neighborhood defender service restaurant on P86948. On behalf of Ms. Madison McKee, you say it's not right, Ms. McKee, would you please state your full name? Madison Rose McKee.
Thank you. Go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, I've gone over the pre-sentence investigation report with Ms. McKee. There are no corrections reported here that. I believe that the prosecutor did not object to 74, sentencing under 7411. Your Honor stated that you take a look at the scientific determination and sentencing. I have talked to Ms. McKee, she's also joined with the courtroom by her mother. I've talked about all the conditions of probation. That she can work with probation department to get enrolled into a substance abuse treatment program. Ms. McKee, I think since this incident, has made a lot of changes to her life. She's moved back to
Good.
with her parents. There's no alcohol in the house when she's at her mother's house. Her license was temporarily suspended, so right now she's doing dog sitting for people, family, friends that she.
Right.
She's formally taken a CNA course. Once this is concluded, she's gonna try to get a certificate.
Okay.
So that she can look at enrollment. But she's willing to participate in substance abuse treatment. She has a strong environment. Her mother reports that she's taken a lot of steps to change the folks and the groups of people that she's hanging around. And that the house that she's currently living in is a substance-free area. I would ask this court to follow the recommendation 12 months probation under 7411 and ask the court to continue waiving any discretionary costs or fines. As Ms. McKee isn't working now, but we want her to focus on her CNA, getting CNA certified.
Right. So are you currently on Woodland Boulevard? That's mom's address? Okay. Prior to the July 19, 2025 incident, had you ever been arrested for anything? Never, no misdemeanors at all? What was your GPA at Erie?
I'm not sure. In high school, is that what you're asking?
Okay. All right, so in my experience, when I ask a kid what their GPA is and they can't tell me, it's because it should have been higher than it was. Does that apply to you? Could you have done better than you did in high school? Yeah. What held you back?
During COVID, remember online.
We killed you guys. Yeah. 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 Have you had a job ever? Where have you worked? What is that? What is it? Okay. Hence the CNA interest. Go ahead. Okay. 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 Any objections if we take the count one under 7,411? When's she eligible for a license?
I believe they.
So coming up. Okay. So you should be working by end of June, right? Well, let's put it this way. You'll be working somewhere by the end of June. Okay? Even if it's not the job you want, get a job. Sounds like the jobs you've had, you haven't done a lot of interviewing. Am I right? Okay. So here's what you don't want. You don't want the interviewer to say, "What are you doing now?" and say, "Looking for work." What you want to be able to say is, "I'm doing this. I work here. These are my hours. This is what I do. But what I really want to do is get into this field. That's why I'm applying with you." Because it's easier for an employer to take a chance on somebody that's already working than somebody that's not working, because the biggest problem all employers have now is giving somebody a job and they never show up. Okay. So even though you might have in your mind the job you want, get a job. As soon as you can get to the job, I don't care if it's Wendy's, get a job. All right. For as many hours as they'll give you while you look for the job that's starting your career. Okay. All right. So on count one, I will do this under a delayed sentence for 12 months. I'm going to adopt in full the recommendations. Mom, normally I'm going to order work program on a file like files like these instead of jail time, but sounds like you're the transportation right now. Are you working every day? Okay. She was working for you at the time. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. You were probably mad at her at the time, weren't you? Yeah. 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 Well, I don't want her to get a job that you got to drive her to, though. Right? But I mean, if there's some place she can get, even if it's a crappy job for 10 hours a week, if there's a job you can get close to home, get it. Because then when you go to look at the other job and they say, "Why are you only working 10 hours a week?" Because that's the only job I could get that I could walk to. Now, what are you telling them? You want to work, right? You want to work. Okay. You'll have your license by the end of May, right? All right, so here's what we're going to do. On each of these files, one's going to be delayed sentence, one's just going to be straight probation. On each of these files, 12 months, you're under my thumb. Okay? I'm adopting in full the recommendations. On each of these files, you owe me 5 days on the work program. I'm okay with you scheduling that after you get your driving privileges reinstated. Okay, now, if you get a chance for the job and the work program hasn't been done yet and it's causing you a problem, come back and talk to me and we'll look at that. Okay? I'm not making you any promises right now, other than the fact that I'll listen to what you've got to tell me. I'm going to tell you right now, if you come to me and you say, I haven't done my 10 days and I haven't done any of my 10 days, but I want you to convert that to community service hours because of this job, I'm going to tell you no. So get some done. And then if they're standing, your schedule standing in the way of the good job, then we'll talk. Understood? All right. On each of these files, I'm going to give you a break on the money. I'll tell you what, I will suspend fines and costs on count one. Comply with all the terms that I just told you about, the ones you went over with Scott. You comply with all those terms, do your 5 days, and I won't charge any money on that file at all. On the impaired driving, recommendations are followed in full, 5 days on the work program on that file, and fines and costs are $1,200. Go downstairs and we'll talk about options down there. I will work with you forever on money as long as you're doing everything else you're supposed to be doing. And I mean literally forever. I don't care if it's like $50 a month. I don't care. Money is not my concern. Changed behaviors is my concern. Got it? Any questions? You go give your mother a big hug. I'm serious as a heart attack. Because that was firing you was one of the hardest things she ever had to do. Probably one of the best things you ever did too. All right. So listen to your mother. All right. So you listen to your mother, you communicate with Mr. Rowley, and we'll be all right. We'll get you to the end of this probation with no problem. All right. Thank you, counsel. Have a good day, ladies. How many bodies out there, Jamie?
I'll find out what we got.
Our success rate on these show causes, it's got to be less than 20%.
Well, that's the thing, if they're not showing up for a work program. Show up.
Yeah.
Up to the show warrant, and then they can give it to them more.
Right. This should be a slamming day. The sentencing's already been showing up on time.
We have one violation.
Is that Davis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we really did that. Oh, I was sure mine too. She's done.
Oh, yeah, she got holes. Yeah, she did check and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
She was.
last name,
Well, yeah.
is that at 9 a.m.?
It's not.
Wait, then engagement.
She's in the other day on the phone.
Ah.
She's in Zoom on Patton.
I said that, I was like.
That's what the whole,
If she's not here on Zoom though,
I don't think so.
then have them see Bowditch or Graziano. It's a MIDC, so just let them.
Yeah, no, wait, I didn't know, I thought you was waiting for her to physically show up.
I don't know, she wasn't approved to Zoom, but she's on Zoom and theirs, and they have a full docket.
All right, let me,
Work your magic, Jamie.
yes, ma'am.
Um, she's just one of these, but I can't talk about.
There's the business of Johnson, just about.
Yeah.
They just don't need some.
All right.
I would really.
It's supposed to be entry level.
In the other people, they thought that when you said, did you get your license, they thought driver's licenses well not.
Yeah, but they didn't know the kind of file it was.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked him, why did you come back? And when he said, get my dog under control and get my license, I thought he was talking about his dog license.
Yeah. You need to use that.
So did she tell you that a couple of them are planning a road trip to come see us? One of them's got surgery in the fall, so she can be off work for a couple of weeks.
Bring donuts.
It'll be a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, because they want to see Joe's hair.
Deleted somebody. You know what I did about us? Next thing you do, the works so much. And he's cleaning some allergies.
I didn't.
Detroit, at least they have. Stuff and I just.
Still up there?
Yeah, no, we're stuck.
You deleted it.
Get rid of it.
So I can't find it.
Just what she was saying was just, and then asking for both sides of her job on that since she was in. I think we this
You know who this is, Jamie?
Judge, there's a button that says.
Last name, sir?
Message.
It's Shamari. Shamari.
You. All the things that I need to go.
Oh, later,
Yeah.
later.
Your Honor, she's gonna go for sentencing and by.
And violation, yep, I got both files. All right, counsel on Shimmery, your appearance.
John Graziani, appearing on behalf of, Ms. Shimmery, for this sentencing and the violation of probation.
Which one you want to talk about first?
Judge, I'd like to, talk about the, sentencing. The reason being is I think all this could be tied in at this time. We have, no problems with the, from your honor and staff. She's in a position to be doing that. Although it would take a good deal of time on the court work program because of the she does have, she's having a raise
Okay,
and all daughter, and, she's also trying to, get back into the workforce because of what's happened, Chuck.
okay. How old's your son?
My
Daughter.
Daughter, how old's your daughter? Okay. Where at?
For a logistics company.
Where?
For a logistics company.
Okay, where they at?
They're in Dearborn. They're based
Okay.
in Dearborn. See where it is near, so then it would just, analyze the copies.
Okay. Good luck. All right, go ahead, counsel.
Bit of background.
Mhm.
She did have some exceptions to, with what was stated, she felt, I don't know if there was a mix up within the system, but she felt she was in a position to go back to her mother's residence in, Van Buren Township. And, it was an.
All right, hold on. Now we're on the violation part. Let's do one file at a time.
With regard to the,
Let's do one at a time.
sentencing,
Yep.
that you got this recommendation.
Okay,
And, allow her to move on with.
Okay. all right. So how come you haven't worked for a year? How come you haven't worked for a year?
No, I worked last November and I wanted to go to rehab because I've been asking my family for help because I didn't go postpartum and I was doing everything on my own. And I was just wore out and I was finding that my drinking was becoming a problem.
Mhm.
Before my wife and they thought, they thought that I could get through it. And it got to a point when they eventually realized, so I testified to go to rehab and watch my daughter. And, so when I went, I think to watch my daughter and moved back home with them just to
Yeah.
get a break. And when, I came back, it was just, she's, I don't want to put blame on anybody. It's just been a difficult relationship with my mother. I love her dearly. But,
It's a very toxic relationship, Judge.
So did you go to rehab?
so
Where? Good, good.
reinstated to transitional, doing their 8 days and working with the chairman and everything.
Do they do transitional housing?
Do transitional housing, but I am in housing right now. I'm living with my boyfriend.
Okay, all right. So you're out of mom's house.
No, but when they arrested me, they didn't.
All right, so
When they arrested me, they.
hold on just a minute. Hold on. I got Cross Street and Woodbury. Which one's a good address?
where I moved out, my parents moved my stuff out.
Right.
So which saw the.
Okay, I just asked you which one's a good address, Cross or Woodbury or neither? Okay. All right. So we'll fix the computer on that. All right, so you did rehab. How long have you been clean?
I. Talents and that's something very new. I saw somebody do it one time. I tried it stupidly, I'm embarrassed, didn't say that. Gonna stop drinking. I've been clean since January 1st, but I've not been a daily drinker. It was when I was alone, apart from my daughter, and this I was having a difficult time getting my daughter back from my mom.
Okay,
So
Judge, the record should also reflect that Ms. Shimmery, did spend, I believe, 55 to 58 days in the Wayne County Jail. And explain that. to the judge.
yeah, they.
for one of these files or something else?
So.
That's not what I asked you. One of these files or something else?
Yes.
Okay, was it which one? The domestic violence file?
Violation for the.
Okay.
So the case was the police station didn't have record of the note of.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it said it was no context related.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't know, I'm a little confused what I.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just want
Right,
to be honest, so now there's no context, that's what I put on.
okay.
Put on for.
So once again, we're getting into the other file. Let's get back to the drinking and driving file. So anything else you want to tell me before I sentence you on that file?
Which
The drinking and driving file.
I was being pressured, to go to work and I was turning around, not even 0.2 miles away from my house, and I turned around and, to go back home because I wasn't going to do it, I wasn't gonna risk it, and when I was at the gas station, going back to go back home,
Mhm.
I was full.
Good.
It was literally, I walked distance.
All right. Anything else before I sentence?
Judge, show mercy, she does have a tremendous work ethic, she's worked, for 20 years. And, Ms. Shimmery is asked regarding licensing sanctions, I've indicated to her since October of 1999. It's, the purview of the Secretary of State, so Judge Oakley is not in a position to
Yeah.
recommendations as to.
And the state is telling me that it's up to you,
It doesn't make any sense.
and so I.
They might have told you only a court can give you some privileges, but that doesn't mean this court. So I have no authority over your license unless you were if you were in our sobriety court program, then I've got some leeway, but outside of sobriety court, I've got nothing to do with licensing.
Judge, based upon,
A circuit court judge, if you file the petitions, a circuit court judge can order the Secretary of State to give you driving privileges. I'm not a circuit court judge. It doesn't matter what your concern is. It doesn't change the reality. I can't give you a license.
what's happened is I don't believe there's gonna be any significant issue because of the fact that she received her first operating while impaired in 2007 and then recently, in
19,
19.
right. Right.
She's got work ahead of her, Judge, and again, we're just asking for mercy.
Yeah. So as to your license, I'll tell you this, when you are eligible to get your to ask for driving privileges to be restored, hire an attorney. Because I've seen too many people, they try to do it on their own and they waste time. If you hire an attorney that does a lot of license restorations, they get all your ducks in a row so that when you go in for the hearing, you walk out with something. All right, so just put that in the back of your head. So when it's time for you, when you're eligible to ask, you ask with the help of an attorney. All right? I don't know when that is. I don't pay any attention to that because it's completely out of my ball. It's not in my ballywick at all.
Judge, to cover myself
Yeah.
and Ms. Shimmery, I would ask if in fact she is eligible. To me, it appears that she is eligible based upon the time frame in which these unfortunate incidents took place, but she's, if in the event she does need some help, if she could participate in the sobriety court because of the fact that it would enhance her opportunity to, go to and from work. And
Did you give that any thought when you did the assessment?
Yes, however, with the new domestic violence offense, I don't know that she would be able.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a pending case now?
No, 7 cases.
Just the one I've got up today? Right, right. Okay, all right. Anything else before I sentence?
She did the anger management during the share house program, Judge. In fact, she participated. Although she would.
Okay, for the third time, now we're talking about the domestic violence file again. The drunk driving is what I'm trying to get done with. Is there anything else before I sentence on the drunk driving? Because there's no anger management component to that charge. Okay, all right. So let me tell you what I'm hearing from you. What I'm hearing from you is somebody that doesn't think they've got an alcohol issue.
No, that's, I, no, I,
Okay. Okay, okay, all right.
and that's why I'm so.
No, that's all right. I want to hear what you guys say. Go ahead.
The outpatient substance abuse counseling.
You're doing that now?
I'm sorry, it was Hagera, so we can't. And I also working with the chairman, and it was share, I met up with Share House, I went to Share House. So I'm doing their transition meetings with them as well.
What's that look like? How often?
I,
With Share House? Okay. Live meetings? Okay. 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 So you're doing Share House meetings every day?
covering coach to Share House.
Okay.
So yes, it became a problem. It was later in life.
Mhm.
I believe it started from my postpartum. It's nothing that was, that yes, it.
Okay. You probably don't have documentation on all that stuff she just told us about. Okay. If you, hold on a minute. Just hold on a minute. If you have all that, would that change your recommendation about inpatient or outpatient? Intensive?
I have to review the paperwork.
Right.
To see what type of treatment she's in, but
Yeah. So here's where I'm going. Her recommendation, and I was completely ready to follow, was intensive outpatient or inpatient. Because as much as you will probably want to get back to work, my first concern is I want to make sure that the substance abuse has been dealt with effectively before you start trying to work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave that door open. Okay. After Ms. Trolley has a chance to review what you've got, probably reach out to the Share House and just confirm everything you're doing. Then we'll take a look at whether or not continuing those courses of treatment are enough for us, or if we want more. Understood? Okay. You're going to share those with her. But you're not going to get an answer today. I'm going to give her a chance to review everything, reach out, ask questions if she has to. So, I'm just gonna order today substance abuse treatment. Just leave it there. Okay. We'll let you know whether or not I'm thinking more is needed than what you're currently doing. And at that point, it'll be up to you if you want to have another hearing and Mr. Graziani can be here. That's up to you. I got no problem either way. Or I'm going to say, Ms. Trolley's checked it all out and we're okay with you just continuing the Share House program. Okay. In Hager. Okay. So it's either option A, option B. Understood? Okay. All right. So other than that, on the drinking and driving file, I'm adopting in full the recommendations that Mr. Graziotti went over with you. That was items 1 through 11. That includes the work program days. I'm going to suggest that you schedule those work program days ASAP to try to bang them all out before they start impeding other things you need to do. Okay? On the money, fines and costs on that file are $1,300. I'm going to send you downstairs to talk about payment options downstairs. I don't think you were in here when I mentioned it earlier. When I put somebody on probation, it's not a punishment. It's because that's the best way I know to effectuate a change in behavior. So I'm not punishing you with what I'm trying to do. So for example, the 10 days on the work program, that's an alternative to jail, right? Jail, work program, money, those are all punishments. The other stuff we give you to do, like the substance abuse treatment and everything else, that's to effectuate a change in behavior. All right. Okay, so what that means is if you go into this whole process with the mindset, this is for me, what do I have to do to get something out of it? She becomes your new best friend. Because if you're having problems complying, you're going to reach out to her and you're going to say, this is what I'm trying. This is where I'm running into problems. How do we fix it together? Because her job is not to come to me and say, Judge, put her in jail. Her job is to come to me and say, Judge, she's doing great. Can we close her out early? That's what makes her tail wag. Okay? All right. So I think that takes care of everything on that file. Did I miss anything on that one, Mr. Rowley? Did I miss anything on that file? I think we're good on that one. Okay, so now let's move on to the other file. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, you also owe us money on a disorderly person ticket from Van Buren Township last year. So when you go downstairs to talk about options to pay on this one, just make sure you roll it into one, whatever you do, one plan or whatever. Okay? Don't forget that's out there. All right, so on the other file, which is the incident date March 4, 2026. Yeah. Domestic violence that we're here today for violation. Also on that file, I gave her 30 days jail, 30 days credit on the first file. So on this file, yeah, so it was back to the house where Van Buren didn't think you were supposed to be back to the house, and then you were huffing there. Right? That's what that whole incident was all about. There are no new charges coming out of there that you know of. Correct? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And then the other violation, I put that in air quotes for the record, is no documentation of anger management or substance abuse evaluation. And that's what you're sitting on now that you're going to share with Ms. Trolley, correct? Yeah, but it covers the anger management. You did that at Share House, right? And obviously they did an evaluation because you're in treatment with them. So I think that's covered. All right. Okay. And this was, let me go back to the original sentencing date. All right, so this was originally a 12-month delayed sentence under 769.4A. I'm okay with just running that to completion, no new charges. All right, I understand the confusion. The huffing blows me away, but you're dealing with that with your substance abuse treatment now. So the fact that you were there when you weren't supposed to be there, I'm willing to write that one off. That was a confusion between the police department and you. So that one, that's a mulligan. You know what a mulligan is? Golf term? It's a do-over. I'm giving you grace on that one. So until next March, just no more problems. Okay? Clear?
Yes, Judge.
You look confused.
Are you talking to me, Judge?
Yeah.
No, I'm.
All right. Okay.
My relationship with them, if I'm not allowed to speak,
Yeah.
I have a relationship with their interest, you know, it is happening, it's a music relationship.
Right.
I love my daughter with her, so I don't, I don't wanna keep my daughter away from her, I just don't want her to see the real abuse.
Yeah. So here, you want some advice? If you are fully engaged in the Higuera and Share House programs, then you are literally reinventing yourself. Would you agree with me? Okay. As part of that reinvention, make sure you spend a fair amount of time with your therapist discussing the toxic relationship you have with your mother.
No.
Here's what. There are ways. I mean, is she physically abusive to your daughter? Okay. Yeah, but you're old enough to stand up for yourself, right?
She's bipolar, schizophrenic.
No, my point is if you think there's value to your daughter to have a relationship with her grandmother, then you have to set the boundaries for that.
Judge,
Right?
Tremendous respect for, the adults, particularly in the hierarchy, the major.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You're the mama bear now. Where is your first allegiance? To your 5-year-old daughter or to the respect you think you owe your mother? Absolutely. So What I'm telling you is you're in a perfect situation with all this reinvention that's going on, with all these professionals that are helping you become you 2.0. You're in a perfect environment to get the assistance you need so that you can set healthy boundaries so that your daughter can still have a relationship with her mother within the boundaries you set. And that's why I'm saying these people will help you build that confidence, right? Because number one is your daughter's safety, bar none. That's number 1, 2, 3, and through 10, right? Yeah. Which your daughter's seeing, which causes trauma on your daughter. So then when your daughter's your age, she's standing in front of somebody wearing a dress like me, right? Because your childhood trauma is a big part of what leads you to make the bad decisions you've been making. Would you agree? So to keep your daughter safe doesn't just mean from physical abuse, right? So you're learning how to do that. And you know what? Say a prayer. Maybe by doing that, you can actually change your mother's behaviors. Right? Maybe she wants to have a relationship with your daughter to the point where she'll change the way she does things. We can hope. And if not, then maybe it's just, Mom, what's your daughter's name? London. Mom, London misses you. Can we meet at McDonald's? We're going to get her some fries and spend a little time, just the three of us. Okay? Safe environment. She still gets to see her grandmother, right? But you set the boundaries, not Mom. Because you're the one that's working on reinventing yourself. Unfortunately, your mother hasn't done the work. Right? Okay. Good luck. You're welcome. Good luck. What do you got, Mr. Bowditch? Cleveland, like the city?
Like the city.
I've got him here. Come on up.
Hey, Your Honor, for the record, I'm appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Cleveland. Sir, would you tell me the name of the record?
Thank you.
Also, Your Honor, I'm sitting in place of serving in practice. This Gabe Robinson, who's next door on the room.
Okay.
First permission, is it with full permission also, Mr. Cleveland?
Yes, well, not permission.
Technically, he's standing in. Would you agree? Because he was sitting in and then he stood up.
Right.
And have you gentlemen had a chance to go over the report?
We reviewed it, Your Honor, and find it accurate. We would ask the court to adopt the recommendations. I believe he also reviewed.
All right. Let me see what we got. Looks like this one missed me. I had a pile of files to go through and looks like this one missed me. Let me look it over real quick. References some inpatient programs in Tennessee. When were those? So not since this incident. Okay. Okay. All right. Ms. Trolley's recommendation number 6 is inpatient treatment or intensive outpatient. You understand that?
Yes.
What do you think of that?
Absolutely, that's help.
All right.
I think of it.
All right. You're currently working at Wayne Industries? What kind of time off they gonna give you? If you go to an inpatient program, you're gonna lose your job?
But sometimes I can talk to them,
I'm gonna suggest that that's not a job that's worth saving.
my health. True.
Well, it's not a $30 an hour job, right? You can do that at Wendy's or Burger King, $16 an hour, right? So I mean, my point is, you can replace that job. Now, I don't know what your financial situation is. Maybe, going inpatient somewhere means you can't pay your rent, you get kicked out, and your car note doesn't get paid, and so you get sober, but you come out and you got nothing. I don't know what your situation is. But I'm looking at a guy that's got 2 drinking and driving charges going back to 18. Right?
Yes.
Your drinking has cost you lots already. Am I right? So what I'm looking at, to me, the situation looks like, okay, it's either you rip the Band-Aid off and fix the problem now, or you keep, the death of 1,000 cuts. You keep in your substance abuse, and it keeps costing you, and it costs you here, and it costs you there, and it costs you there, versus take the big hit now maybe and deal with it. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm not going to order you go to inpatient. I'm going to order intensive outpatient or inpatient. What I'm going to suggest is we do a substance abuse evaluation. Was that ordered? I think just treatment was ordered. Yeah. So I'm going to suggest what we do is we do a substance abuse evaluation, and then you and Ms. Tiroli can have some conversation about what the experts think is your best path towards sobriety. Okay. And then we'll craft the probation order to fit that substance abuse evaluation. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Understand though, if the evaluation comes back that this guy needs inpatient, then I'm going to tell you got to do inpatient. All right. So you weren't in here. I put people on probation to change their behavior. I don't want you to have a 4th drinking and driving.
I agree for myself.
Okay. All right. So anything else from either one of you before I sentence on these?
Nothing wrong.
Mr. Cleveland, anything else?
No, sir.
All right. So I'm going to adopt in full the recommendations that you went over with Mr. Bowditch, items 1 through 11. I'm going to put you on you get 2 charges, the impaired driving and the no valid operators. You're on probation on both. You violate on one file, or one count, you violate on the other count. The only thing that is different is I'm going to charge you a certain amount of money on one and a certain amount of money on the other one. All right. Which I'll get to right now. So you're on probation for 12 months. On the impaired driving charge, the fines and costs are $1,500. On the no valid operator's license, the fines and costs are $350. I'm going to send you downstairs to talk about payment options on those. Money is the least of my concerns. Okay. If you're doing everything else I want you to do, if you're doing the treatment that the evaluation leads to, if you're doing everything else I'm telling you to do, then the money, I'll work with you forever. I mean, I don't listen to this, Vanessa. I don't care if you're on payments until you're 45. I don't care. Okay. We'll work with you. We'll come up with some other options to close the file out or whatever. So get something set up so you can start making some payments, but don't worry about the money. Worry about everything else first. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions? Good. I wish you luck. All right. She's your new best friend. She's going to help you get through probation without problems, but only if you talk to her. And if you got problems, you got to let her know while they're little problems so we can fix them without coming to see me again.
All
right.
Open up, speak.
If you're willing to do what she's telling you to do, you're going to get through this. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome. Oh, you owe us money on some other stuff too. A no proof insurance from 2016. Yeah, 438. So when you go downstairs to talk about payments on these, just do some kind of global payment plan or whatever. All right. Good luck. You're welcome.
It's hard, he's zooming in another.
And he's in Norway.
Seen that, I think he's new.
I'm here and ready. Looks like a nice day. Sunshine. Do you have any luck with Shannon about our name change idea?
Option her, and we're probably gonna set up, if it's okay with you, after next week, because I'll be gone next week for the conference, to set up. So probably that last week of the month.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Awesome.
And then, yeah, she's gonna be on tomorrow.
Good. Who's graduating tomorrow? Stafford? Who else?
And Myra.
Good. What are you calling me for? You know I'm working.
Dave,
Our lucky day?
Yeah.
Not, if you got your tag on, that don't do anything for me.
that's why I got my coat set up.
Why is it our lucky day?
We got the tires, 300.
Awesome. Any trailers? We got scouted out. Okay. Yeah, let's figure out when we can go in. I don't know. I gotta look at my calendar. All right, I am ready for Mr. Mohammed. Appearance, please.
Judge John Graziani, appearing on behalf of Mr. Mohammed, but I really don't know much of his background, sir. I just like the other gentleman that we had.
Yep.
I don't want to talk to the press.
Yeah.
Can you please state your name, please?
Thank you. All right, let me tell you what we got. February 14, 2026 was the incident date. It was a drove while license suspended, pled down to an allow unlicensed driver to operate. Sentence was $500 and 4 days on the work program. Let's see. Missed April 22nd and April 28th on the work program. And he currently owes us $720. So there must have been another file involved too. That sound right? 720? All right. Are you working, sir? Where do you work? Okay. Where's it at? What's the restaurant?
Casablanca.
Casablanca. Where you at?
Where I live,
No, where's the restaurant at?
it's on, Washington.
Okay. I don't think I've ever had Moroccan food.
Yes.
Give me an idea. Give me an idea give me what's the signature dish at Casablanca?
The most popular dish I'd say is the sweet lamb tagine. Oh. It's cooked.
Well, you got me with lamb, so tell me more.
We caramelize the lamb with raisins, sweet potatoes, honey, and it's a piece of lamb shank.
Okay.
So it's equivalent to Mediterranean?
That's good.
Yeah, close, yeah.
It's French and Spanish, of course.
Yeah. So what do you serve the lamb shank with?
Then you get a side of rice, fries, super salad. What would you like?
Okay.
Sounds like you're trying to order good stuff.
I like it.
Casablanca, that's the.
I like that name.
Yeah. It's one place I want to go just because of the movie. Right?
That's why we think the Casablanca.
Yeah.
Salads equivalent like tabbouleh, fettuccine salad.
Yeah, all that, we got cucumber salad, tomato salad, tea.
I
Pizza.
always like trying new cuisines.
We're gonna have to talk Harvard.
Yeah. Do you cater?
Yes.
Really? Would you cater here?
As long as you guys have your
Card? As long as we got what?
Yeah, you just messed that all right.
Oh, do you have a card?
No, I'm not on.
Okay.
What you consider yourself on?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tell Carly.
Okay.
Yeah. I might have to make a scouting trip though, before we cater. Yeah. Okay. Back to business. So what's the deal? You haven't paid us or done today, work days?
So I work also midnights as well with my brother-in-law. I help him out,
What's he do?
construction.
Okay. Where's he working construction midnights? What's he doing?
He does his own projects. So,
Yeah, but he's not roughing in houses at midnight. So what kind of stuff's he do?
well, no, it's not rough. It's like we move stuff around, go get stuff from like Home Depot, drop them off, we'll move stuff.
Oh, so you're just prepping for the next day's work. Gotcha. Go ahead.
In the mornings, I also help all my brother do stuff like that. He does HVAC as well.
Okay.
So it's a pretty busy schedule.
Okay.
So the couple of days that I missed work program, the first day actually I slept outside the courthouse. I
Okay.
was here at like 6 a.m. and then I fell asleep. And just to like be here on time, and then I just slept.
Okay.
So, 8 o'clock, walked in and we said the bus already left.
Okay.
The second time I came in, I just saw Cindy in line.
All right. So you're working a lot, but you're not paying us the court costs. So what's going on with the money?
Yeah, I mean, right now, money is a little bit of a struggle. I like to make my own money, so really, the money that I make at the restaurant, it's for the support of the family.
Okay.
The actual money that I make on the side, it's not a lot.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when I got pulled over, I was door dashing. And that's the reason why I got that. I was actually door dashing to pay off like my insurance and my registration.
Okay. Your license still suspended?
No,
You're legal? Okay. All right. Well, I like the fact that you work so hard. So let's do this. I'll give you a chance. I won't give you a punishment day. Get the 2 days, schedule, no more issues. If you miss another day on the work program, then you're going to do the jail time because work program is an alternative to jail. So pick the 2 days before you leave, but those 2 days, you got to show up and do it, right? Money, let's get you on some kind of regular payment plan. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, I don't care what. Oh, you don't want me to do this anymore though.
No.
Okay.
you need to spend enough.
So I'm going to send you downstairs, set up a payment plan on that $720. Some kind of regular payments, but once again, don't miss the payments. So if you think you can do $100 a month, set it up for $75 a month and pay the 100 when you can, but give yourself some wiggle room so you don't miss a payment. Okay? You got all that? Plan moving forward? All right, I'm gonna make arrangements. I'm gonna come out and,
He, this payment was due on the 8th, did not,
oh, he's got a payment plan?
he didn't make it, so they're not gonna set him up on a new one without any payment.
Okay,
So I called the court and I asked them because of the 13th, because I missed my work program, they said everything will be delayed until my court date. I
okay.
asked them, should I make my?
So are you in a position to pay some money today?
Yeah.
Oh,
Then just, you'll get set up on a new payment plan. All right. All right, good luck.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you guys at the restaurant.
Judge Norway, the affiliate wants to know that you do this and they can know when she earlier mentioned it.
Yeah, I thought it was, because I looked up the city. I'd never heard of it. What do you got?
Your Honor, the sentencing for Miss Bechtel.
Got it. Come on up.
Hey, Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowers, 45367, turning on the outlook and bringing Miss Bechtel is.
Good morning, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'm sitting in for the attorney, Reverend Mr. Tar. Ma'am, do you mind if I sit in for your attorney, Reverend, just for these proceedings alone? Yes. No, I don't mind. Yeah, okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have reviewed this Bechtel. We find factually accurate conditions, no deletions, no corrections. He would ask the court to respectfully adopt the recommendations of probation. The probation has recommended, Your Honor, community service, in lieu of the work program. And Ms. Bechtel today provided information from her doctor which supports that decision.
Okay. So she can do the community service.
She can't do it yet.
Yeah, okay, all right. Ma'am, anything you want to add to what Mr. Bowditch just told me? You don't have to give me anything, but just give you a chance. Okay, okay. I'll work with that, right? Because you don't want to be here again. Okay. You're not working now?
No, barely. I mean, I'm taking care of two grandkids. and-
Okay. Okay, all right. So you don't have time to work right now? Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. Nothing else to add?
No.
All right, so I'm going to go along with the recommendations that you went over with Mr. Bowditch. Items 1 through 10 are court order. I'm going to put you on probation for 12 months. Probation fee is $480. I'm ordering the work program. And the fines and costs, community service. Now, I wrote CS, but I said work program. So fines and costs, $1,300. Go downstairs and talk about options down there. I'll work with you on the money. Take care of everything else you're supposed to be doing, and I'll give you grace. We'll work with you on the money. Understood? Any questions?
Just tell them I'm supposed to get my driver's license.
I have no idea because it's a Secretary of State issue. So I don't know when you're eligible, none of that, but yeah, yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Mr. Bodish, you know if we got anybody else out there waiting for you guys? All right. You can probably head downstairs on. Anybody out there for us? Okay, Jamie just gave me a heads up. Okay. You know who it is by chance?
Desmond Smith, it's a show boss.
Smith?
I thought that, it looks like pretty good food.
He had me with caramelized lamb.
Dude,
Hey, is John Crow down there?
no,
Oh, thanks.
okay. Yeah, went up there.
Oh, he did. I just wondered if he was still.
It down.
Okay, thanks. Okay, well, if John snuck out past Keith and Keith didn't know it, that's a problem. Because John don't move very fast.
He's got a foot race with Bowens right now. I'm told Mr. to go through the proper order, because he's advised me of vehicles too. I says, hey, I don't want to step on no one's toes. You make sure you ask the proper people.
When Jen and Mr. Smith that's coming in,
Yeah.
he's the one who's having for a program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're gonna have him justify. That's what.
Is there anything to grab on that door people?
We stand in front of it, slides.
Yeah, there's nothing, there's no hand.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Come on up, council. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hey,
Judge, is that all ours?
what is, I don't understand. No. One file.
Yeah, this is his file.
I was like, we're really need to talk about.
All right, so Mr. Smith is here on a February 4, 2026, failed to display valid license that started out as a drove while license suspended. On April 16th, he was sentenced to $500 fines and costs and 4 days on the work program. And you're on a payment plan now, sir? All right. All right. Looks like, did you make your May payment? Okay. Can you do that today? All right. Go ahead, Mr. Graziani.
For continuance, Mr. Smith said, pertaining for one of the court work programs, that there was a mix-up. I was not aware of the mix-up. In fact, he was not even on my list, but again, they want this gentleman falling through the cracks, but there's a number of people who haven't even shown up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, explain what happened.
Originally when I was scheduled with April 16th.
Up over here.
When I was originally scheduled April 16th for my previous court date, I showed up and you guys told me to go to probation. Cashier, with the cashier made a payment plan. I got that squared away. I missed my first payment. That was my apologies. I'm able to make payment today. Filed with the probation. And they said 4 work days. I said I can do Saturdays. So my first Saturday was, I believe, April 26th or 25th or something like that. So I showed up on time, and regarding the paperwork that was given to me, that did not show any phone numbers, any person to contact. But I did go to the front door and try to make sure it was locked where I'm on, but it's Saturday, so it was closed, it was locked. I'm not, like, I've never been to back and forth.
Okay. You pull on the front door? Do you know our doors don't have handles? I'm curious what you pulled on. They're sliding doors. They don't pull. There's no handle to even grab. You stand there and the door slides and you walk in. There's nothing to grab if you want to.
That was the front door.
What time?
8 o'clock.
Okay. Okay.
Another guy. That was waiting. I guess it was his first time at Doyle, nothing fine. 15 minutes go by, a landscaping company, they showed up or whatever, and the other guy, got out of his car, asked for more information to those guys. They said, go to back and forth. So he went to back and forth, just sitting there like without me. So I went to back and forth as well. And there's another lady, she there as well. She done it before and stuff like that, but she was late. She was telling us how it goes, and they already left already. So I didn't know if we like where the meetup location was at, besides going to the court. But where at court, I didn't know. It wasn't told to me. It's my first time.
And you didn't see the sign on the front door that said go to the back of the building? Okay.
They go to the massage.
Okay.
I don't know on a piece of paper it said report to probation, counter and check in. And I know that's inside the court, so I can't get inside the court if the doors are locked.
Okay. Okay. But you didn't see the sign on the door that said go to the back of the building? Okay. All right. Where do you work?
I work 2 jobs. One job is steel line.
Target steel, right?
Yes, sir.
Who?
Steel line.
What's the name of it?
Target.
Where are they at? Where?
Software.
Huh, never heard of them.
It's a pretty big operation.
It's like right off of 275.
Yeah. I know where South Huron is. Yeah. Are they east of the expressway?
Like if you come off the exit of South Huron, Burger King is number one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's by Bros, the big lighting place. Okay. All right. What's your second job? Okay. All right. All right. So I'm not going to give you any penalty days, but I'm not going to give you any Saturday schedule. So you can schedule 4 days on the work program, pick whatever days you want, but you're not getting any more Saturdays because those are pretty. All right.
A couple months, I hope.
I can give you till the end of June. Yeah, to schedule 4 days.
Can you do it? Yes or no?
It's an alternative to jail. So, I mean, that's the other option.
Do Saturdays?
No. Everybody wants Saturdays, and everybody that gets Saturdays is told if you miss a Saturday, you don't get Saturdays.
I didn't miss it.
You did miss a Saturday. If you would have read the sign on the door that you supposedly pulled on the handle that doesn't exist, you would have seen it said, go to the back of the court and appoint and report there.
Well, for someone's first time,
Life's a bitch and then you die. It's 4 days work program as an alternative to jail. Your 4 days are now Monday through Friday.
only thing with that,
I don't care what the thing is. It's work, you can pick jail. B, you can pick work program. That's the options.
so what about paper line?
Different issue. You set that up downstairs. It's time and money, two different issues. So what do you want to do for the time? You want to do the jail or the work program? All right, go on, pick 4 days. Good luck.
Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome.
There's a number of folks that you're used to,
Yeah.
sitting on.
About 80% of the show causes probably.
Want me to continue waiting? What would you like me to do?
No, I think the last one was scheduled at 10, wasn't it? Yeah, nope, no need, no need.
The names?
Nope, already got them. We cross them out as they come through here.
What do you want me to do with this, Judge?
I don't know what you've got.
These are the.
Oh, that's just trash at this
Okay, I
point.
just want to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, those are just the violation notices. Yeah, that's trash. Give it to us and give it to Heather and she'll recycle it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Heather. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So we're done.
Yeah. And as soon as we can talk to Miss Moore, we'll tell her what we're thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to just leave this up then?
I'm gonna turn off the live stream.
Okay.
And we're gonna leave Zoom.
That's fine.
Recording that live stream. And
Okay.
turn it
Yep.
back.
All right. Have a good